Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us to learn about our Cyber College Cymru provision. This is really a unique event for us, as it's the first time ever we've offered a virtual open event at Coleg Gwent. So we're all a little bit nervous, and we're hoping that you'll stick with us if we have any technical issues. The event should last approximately 45 minutes, and a recording will be made available to all attendees. My name is Ian Millward, and I have the privilege of being a Director of Faculty here at Coleg Gwent. Coleg Gwent itself is the largest college in Wales. Now, as the best performing college in the sector, we wanted to partner with some outstanding industry leaders in order to develop our exciting cybersecurity course. To this end, we've been working with our multinational industry partners, Fujitsu, Thales and Admiral, as well as academic experts from the University of South Wales to develop this innovative programme. I'd particularly like to thank our employers for joining us and making themselves available to answer any questions that you might have. And I hope that you will take the opportunity to gain some really important insights into the industry. So we have a fantastic agenda. And what we're going to include is firstly a taste of industry from our three employer representatives: Steve Cottrell, the Chief Information Security Officer from Admiral; Callum Kershaw, an Information Security Manager from Fujitsu; and Kirsty Perrott, who is a University of Wales PhD student at Thales. We'll have an introduction to the course and Cyber College Cymru from consultant Mike Halliday. There'll be an opportunity to hear from course tutors, and then finally we'll have a little bit of time for you to ask any questions using the question and answer facility on the right hand side of your screen. So thanks for listening to me. I'm now going to hand over to the Head of School for Computing and Business, Kath Moffat. Thanks, Kath.
Thanks, Ian. So good evening, everyone. Just a reminder to keep your questions and answers coming through to our question and answer facility, and we'll give you as much information as we can this evening. Also, if you're having any issues with your audio or visuals, if you just check in the question and answer box, and one of our moderators will try and help you. So why cyber? Why computing? Cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing industries, and in 2017 it was worth $120 billion, with 15% of those employed earning over £100,000 per year. In recent years, we have seen attacks on governments, high street retailers, local authorities, social networking, and entertainment companies. In addition to these, everyday cases of fraud, online abuse and illegal activities are all issues in this sector. You may be wondering what jobs there are in cyber. Well, jobs in cyber and computing include opportunities in information security and governance, risk assessment and management, secure development and security or systems architecture, testing, operations management, detection and investigation, digital forensics. So why cyber? Why computing? I'd like to hand over to Mike Halliday, and I'll hand over to you, Mike, to give a brief introduction to the Cyber College Cymru programme.
Thanks very much, Kath. It's a pleasure to be here this evening, and I hope lots of people are listening. Firstly, I think it's really important for everyone listening to perhaps appreciate that Wales is recognised globally as a leading ecosystem for cybersecurity. We've got some absolutely great companies based in Wales. Some are specialists in cybersecurity, and some of those are what we might call end users of cybersecurity, or those using this to protect their companies, data, their users and consumers. So the industry ecosystem in Wales wants to work with education to develop homegrown talent. The Cyber College Cymru is the first exciting programme by colleges in Wales in partnership with industry to provide such a specific focus to prepare young people for cyber careers. So this programme has been put together by our founding partners Thales, Admiral and Fujitsu, and you're going to hear from each of these guys tonight a little bit about what early careers are like, a little bit about what the opportunities are and perhaps a bit of a landscape on what it looks like in a company such as Admiral to work in a cybersecurity team. This year we're recruiting our first cohort of 20 students, and you'll be experiencing a totally new level of working alongside industry in addition to your studies. I'm going to go through some of these details in a moment. And ultimately, you're going to have a great opportunity to be positioned as somebody that companies really want to employ, either as an apprentice or following a degree course. So it's really important for you guys to understand what the opportunities are with this very specialist course. So we're going to help you to develop technical skills and to accelerate your technical skills so that you're far better technically able than someone who might be doing a traditional BTEC course. Because of the work you do with employers, you're going to have what we call employability skills. And this basically means that you're ready to work in a team as a young adult because you've spent time working alongside industry professionals. But really importantly, you're going to have a really good understanding of the types of careers that are available. And one of our partners, I think Steve from Admiral, is going to touch a little bit on the broad range of careers that are available in this field. So what are we going to be delivering? So to build this cyber skills pipeline, you're going to be working with our industry partners on cyber labs. So each year there's going to be a program of 20 workshops built around online labs. They're going to help you to really understand how tools and techniques are used in the workplace, and you're going to get the chance to earn badges online. So it's a bit competitive, which students at this age seem to like, and it's a great way to learn. You're going to be provided with executive briefings on every one of the BTEC units that you study. You're going to be hearing about those BTECs a little bit later, but Fujitsu are going to be briefing you on why you're learning what you're learning and why it's relevant. In your second year, you're going to have access to professional qualifications, and you're going to be supported by our industry partners in getting ready to sit these exams, so that at the end of 2 years, you're going to have professional qualifications on your CV that prove you've got these technical skills. And lastly, there's a Cyber Week scheduled for the end of your first year, and this will be held at the University of South Wales, and you're going to be getting together with industry and perhaps doing some fun stuff. So that's a really good, I hope, introduction. I'm now going to pass over to our industry partners. First up is Kirsty from Thales. Kirsty, it's over to you.
Hello everybody. My name's Kirsty Perrott, and I'm a PhD research student working at Thales in collaboration with University of South Wales. Just a bit of background on Thales in case any of you are unaware of them. Thales is one of the world's major technology companies. They're the European leader in cybersecurity and worldwide leader in data protection. They work in more than 50 countries, have major cybersecurity centres in France, Canada, Hong Kong, the Netherlands, and of course here in the UK. Thales does the cybersecurity for 9 of the top 10 internet giants and protects online banking transactions across the world. So if you've used a chip and pin passport or a payment card or even bought an Xbox game, for example, well, it's Thales that done the security for that. So here in Ebervale, Thales runs the National Digital Exploitation Centre, known as the NDEC, and that's in collaboration with Welsh Government and the University of South Wales. And they're currently building a state-of-the-art cybersecurity centre at the old steelworks in Ebervale. And the site's already got a cyber lab and a customer experience suite. Companies can come to explore how Thales can help them secure their systems and technology from hackers. And I think the focus for NDEC is protecting our critical national infrastructure and operational technology. And I know you hear this all the time on the news, and you hear about cybersecurity and everybody getting hacked, and I think we've all had enough of it, to be honest, but OT is slightly different. So for those of you that are unaware, OT can be classified as any system outside of the enterprise network. It's commonly referred to as industrial control systems, or ICS. And many of these systems support our critical services that enable us to go about our daily lives, such as transport, emergency services, water, energy, and health. And that's just to name a few. And that basically means the systems that keep our trains safe, that keep our power stations running, that give us electricity, and that allow us to do our online banking. And more recently, protecting our NHS Wales from computer systems from hackers, especially with the COVID pandemic. And I just think it's really important, cybersecurity, because digital innovation and technology is shaping our world. And with the continued drive to increase efficiency and make everything automatic and have drones and everything autonomous cars, autonomous vehicles, everything autonomous, we're trying to use manufacturing processes and automation processes from industrial systems that were manufactured and established in the industrial age. And they've basically been thrown into today's data, digital driven world. And whilst this evolution is brilliant and it brings many advantages to us and society, there is a growing threat to the cybersecurity of these traditional systems that we all rely upon. So, for example, I don't know, the risk of a PLC being hacked and controlling a pressure valve in, let's say, a nuclear power plant, or the derailing of a 200-mile-an-hour autonomous train in the future when you sat on it going to college. You know, it don't only just mean the loss of money, but it also means the loss of human life. And I think that's why I got into cybersecurity. So I'm just going to give a little bit about me and my background. So my role at NDEC is to look at these emerging technologies that I just spoke about and to find the different approaches to maintain mission critical cybersecurity assets. And my essential background is across multiple IT and OT engineering disciplines, including critical data networks, telecommunications, wireless infrastructure, mobile communications, wearable medical technology, and operational cybersecurity, to name a few. And having served over 12 years in industry, working as an engineer in the NHS, I decided to return to my studies in December 2018. I'm currently undergoing my PhD with Thales, and I hope to become a doctor in the next 2 years. But unlike the opportunities offered to you guys today, when I finished my GCSEs, my options were quite narrow with regards to opportunities. And I stayed at sixth form to achieve my A-levels with the intention of going to university. And although my intended gap year actually turned into 12 gap years before returning to my studies, that was because I wasn't sure which path I wanted to take back then. And unlike the opportunities you guys get today, I feel I wasn't given that opportunity, which is why it took me so long. And since working with a company like Thales, I feel my skills and my knowledge within the OT cybersecurity field has developed rapidly. In my first 2 weeks of being at Thales, I traveled to Wisconsin, USA, to assist the consultants from UK and Canada in performing OT assessments on a real industrial plant. And that gave me real knowledge and experience that I'd never had before. So you guys, I really feel, and I'm really strong for supporting you guys into this field, and hope that you get an easier route in than where I had to wait. And that's it from me. So over to Steve at Admiral.
Thank you, Kirsty. So just a brief intro from me. So I'm Steve Cottrell. I'm Chief Information Security Officer at Admiral Group. I've been working in cybersecurity now about 20 years. Worked for a lot of different international companies. As I started out with Intel, I worked with Vodafone, Aviva, now currently at Admiral. And I guess most of you will be aware of Admiral. It's a huge Welsh success story. So just a bit of a background for you there. So launched in Cardiff in 1993, Wales' largest employer outside the public sector. We're Wales' only FTSE 100 company, or at least the only FTSE 100 company with a headquarters in Wales. About 11,000 staff now spread across the globe, a truly international company. An annual turnover of 3.5 billion, which is pretty huge by anyone's standards, and about 7 million customers last time we checked. As I say, I've been in cybersecurity around 20 years now, and I think cybersecurity is becoming increasingly relevant for all manner of companies. From an Admiral perspective, you might think, well, why is cybersecurity so relevant for Admiral? but with 3.5 billion turnover a year, it's not hard to see why that would be attractive for organised crime or even nation states. And pretty topical today. I don't know if you've seen the news, but EasyJet has suffered a major hack today. It's rumoured about 9 million customer records have been compromised, and from the news I've seen, there appears to be a Chinese link, best guess at the moment. So cybersecurity is hugely relevant, whatever the industry, but particularly relevant for financial services. We have a rapidly growing team. When I joined Admiral 2 years ago, we had a team of roughly 12 people. We're now up to 75 and still aggressively growing that. We've got a number of vacancies out at the moment, from engineering vacancies to architects to risk management professionals. If I look at the depth and spread of roles across the team, it's pretty big as well. We've got roles such as red teamers, who are the hackers of the organization. It's their job to test our defenses on a daily basis, look for any signs of weakness, look to compromise them, and really behave as the bad guys would, and alert us to the problem so we can fix them. We have our security operations center team, who are the blue team in this red-blue team scenario, whose job it is to defend against these attacks. Our incident responders manage incidents as they arise, close down these security incidents, make things safe again, make sure there's no impact for the organization. We have our security architects looking at the future of technology in Admiral. How do we secure the latest technologies being looked at across the group? How do we secure our customer platforms? How do we make things safe and protect our valuable customer information? Security engineers are really the individuals that take those concepts and the direction from security architects and actually make them a reality. You turn them into working systems on the ground and make sure that we get security value from them moving forward. In addition, we have security risk managers, security consultants, who are the individuals that work with the business to advise and mitigate security risk. So we really offer the full spectrum of security professional roles. Admiral have always had a huge commitment to the Welsh region. To say we're Wales' largest employer outside of public sector. We do a lot within the communities in Wales, and I think Cyber College Cymru is just merely one of the latest in a long line of things that we've supported. I'm personally hugely passionate about this. I grew up in South Wales. I'm from Cymru initially, despite spending 20 years in the southeast. It's lovely to be back in Wales, and fantastic to be supporting something like this. I think it's our collective goal here. Both colleague Gwent, Talers, Admiral, Fujitsu, to reinforce Wales' status as a leader in cybersecurity, to really grow that centre of excellence. The last thing I want to be doing in my role is searching for talent across the UK, when the reality is I think we could grow our own talent on the doorstep and provide really exciting careers, really well-paid careers. There's a global talent shortage for cybersecurity, and that has a tendency to push up salaries, which is great if you're in cybersecurity. Wherever you look across the world, there's a shortage of skills in the cybersecurity space. So for you guys looking to start a career in cybersecurity, it is genuinely a fantastic and exciting opportunity that could set you up for life. In terms of Admiral's role in this Cyber College Cymru, I'm excited. We're collaborating on a number of aspects where we're looking to give unrivaled work experience opportunities. So the opportunity to work, in a proper global corporate, to apply what you've learned in the college to real life situations and get a feel for that. It'll really help kickstart the learning, and it'll look fantastic on CVs, I'm sure, and assist in getting jobs in the long term. But it just really brings things to life. Additionally, helping the tutors provide context in terms of the relevance of topics you'll be learning, providing assistance with labs and lectures, all that sort of stuff. We're passionate about helping with that, and as I say, just bringing things to life from a genuine work experience perspective. So I think that's a reasonable summary for me. Conscious of time, I'm going to hand over to a good friend of mine, Callum from Fujitsu, who's going to take you through Fujitsu's role and interest in Cyber College Cymru. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Steve. So my name's Colin Kershaw and I'm an Information Security Manager at Fujitsu. And I've got a real interest in Cyber Cymru Wales, one for being Welsh, but also I've come through Coleg Gwent myself. I was in you guys' positions maybe 4 or 5 years ago before completing my degree last year, but less about me and more about the organisation Fujitsu. So most of you might think that we're Fuji, the camera company. We are not. Our HQ is in Japan, and we actually interact with 90% of people with our tech and systems on a daily basis. So as you can see on the screen, we work directly with Ocado Groceries to deliver services on their systems. We also interact with 15 million train journeys, and one of these being Transport for Wales. If you ever go on the train to Cardiff from Ebervale or in the local area, you'll be interacting with Fujitsu services, especially if you buy a ticket off one of the guards. So we also work with water companies such as Scottish Water to make sure the safe delivery of water to different households across the UK. And we also work with EE and Specsavers really to enhance that transformation of the customer's experience, to make sure in the whole they have a positive outcome and they get the service they want. So we're also in the top 50 employers in the Times for women in 2019. We are a real diverse group within cyber. If you look at some of our big success stories, Steve Pye. He's a gentleman who works in our Security Operations Centre. Many years ago, he's a chef, and now he's one of the main people within the Security Operations Centre and the way we operate. We also look at a lady called Liz. Liz came from a research and development background in a brewery. Now Liz is out there talking to the likes of Admiral and Steve and consulting them on a day-to-day basis from their consultancy backgrounds. So why cyber? There's a huge shortage across the UK, and we have strong links with the college systems, and we can really enhance the talent and nurture the talent in Gwent to make sure that you get the opportunities I didn't have. I had to move away from Wales to get my opportunity, and especially to move to London. And some people may not want to move away, but by engaging with the likes of Thales, Admiral and Fujitsu, we're providing those opportunities on your doorstep. So my journey started in Coleg Gwent when I joined the IT Diploma Level 3 certificate course. And without College Gwent today, I probably wouldn't be here presenting. I wouldn't have been able to achieve a first-class honours degree within Winchester. They really put me on the right path and the right route to where I wanted to be. So why did I choose cyber? Cyber is going to shape the way that we sort of progress in the years to come. Exactly like we've heard off Kirsty and Steve. If you take the EasyJet example again, people's using EasyJet on a daily basis, maybe a lot more before COVID-19, but the nation states and hackers are always looking to disrupt and try and bring the country down to halt. We do a lot of work with national critical infrastructure as well, and we protect our borders, and we're also looking to work with the government over the COVID-19 sort of rollout and their response to it. So what opportunities will this present to you guys sat in the classroom in September? We'll bring experts from our Security Operations Centre in to speak to you on a monthly basis and introduce new roles and sort of courses and modules to give you the real life example. How will you apply this within the workplace and the different routes that you can go down? I know Steve spoke about the Red Hat team. Well, how does maybe a ethical hacking course, which route does that put you down within the business? So you get a clear pathway and understanding of cyber. There is lots of opportunities within Fujitsu. You have your apprenticeship opportunities, you have your degree apprenticeship opportunities, which I kindly went down through and spent 4 years studying my degree, and then I ended up with a full-time job at the end. And you also have grad schemes and placement schemes. So it's important to understand that if you go through to college and at the end of the 2-year course you think university is not for me, there will be opportunities with our employers, and it will put you in the best position possible over everybody else in the market. It is a competitive market, but in Wales we understand there is a lot of talent, and we can nurture that talent to mould them into the people that we want to work in our organisations. And if you've got on your CV that you've gone to college, you've had placement days with the likes of Admiral, the likes of Thales, Fujitsu and so on and so forth, and you've got real understanding of company certificates and certifications, and it's going to add a lot more weight to you. So I'm going to hand over to Catherine next. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Callum. I'd like to ask if there's any questions at this stage for our employers.
Yes, we do have a number of really good questions at the moment, Kath. The first question for the employers is, are you guaranteed a job after this course?
Steve, do you want to tackle that one?
I'm happy to tackle that one.
Thank
So
you.
I don't think we're certainly in a position to guarantee a job. But as I've said, I am in a position to offer valuable work experience and to help with coaching, mentoring. So I think that's in essence the answer. However, I think with the experience you gain on the course and with the contacts you'd make, it would certainly make your job seeking a lot easier. That's not to say we can't offer jobs, but we can't guarantee it. There'll be jobs available for the right candidates. So we'd welcome applications, but I'm not in a position to guarantee them, unfortunately.
Thank you for that, Steve. And following that, what support would the college give to help secure a work placement?
Okay, I'll take that one, Natasha, for the college. So your tutors will have several links and access to our employment engagement advisor, who brings in a number of employers that we work with, and we would work with yourself and those employers to make the correct match. And we'd also look into how we could get you to and from placement and make sure that you were comfortable and make sure that it was a success.
Thank you very much. And one final question for now. How much roughly could you earn in cybersecurity?
Callum, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute there. So it really depends on the role that you go into and the level that you go into the job at as well. So obviously we could probably pick up offline with the person if you provide some details, and it depends on the sort of area that you go into. So for example, your ISMs might be at Information Security Manager, which is the job that I do, might be at a certain level, but your consultants might be a bit higher. It depends on your experience as well. So if you've just come fresh out of college, then you sound like you'll be on the same level of wage as someone who's had 30 years experience. So it's really dependent on your level of experience and the job that you're doing. But I'm happy to pick it up offline as well if anyone would like to discuss it in further detail.
Thank you very much, Callum. No further questions?
Okay, thanks, Natasha. So I'd now like to hand over to Mark Varley and Mike Aubrey. These are the course tutors on your programme, and they'll be providing you with a brief overview of what you can expect to study on the course.
Thanks, Kath. So I'm Mark, and I'm one of your course tutors delivering the BTEC modules. This is a 2-year programme equivalent to 3 A levels, and at the end of the 2 years you will have achieved the BTEC Extended Diploma in Computing. Overall, the programme will assist learners in developing a good understanding of the digital infrastructure in order to apply the cybersecurity principles, of which there are 3. The first one, which is what are the threats and the risks? The second one, how do you identify them? And then lastly, how do you prevent them or manage the incident? In order to operate in the world of cybersecurity, you will need to understand the principles and fundamentals of computer science. We will develop your computational thinking and problem-solving skills. This will mean that should your organisation get hacked, you will be in a position to respond. In addition, a knowledge of computer systems and how the internal components communicate will enable you to help prevent attacks and deal with them when they do arise. In IT system security and encryption, we look at and discuss the threats we face online, as well as speculating about future developments in this field. We will discuss the principles of cryptology, using practical exercises that demonstrate traditional and modern electronic forms of encryption. This unit has a strong emphasis on practical work in lab-based sessions, examining the techniques used to protect IT systems and develop and implement strategies to protect IT systems from different types of threats. We recognise that you might come to the end of the course and might not want to pursue a career in cybersecurity related industry. For this reason, we make sure that our course gives you a broad grounding in other areas such as business applications, in social media, website development, and mobile applications development. In year 2, you'll build on the knowledge with 7 units covering such areas as software design and development, computer networks, and human computer interaction. For full details, of course, please visit our website. I'd now like to pass you over to Mike.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, so what will this program give you that is unique? Well, first of all, you have the opportunity for an industry appropriate work placement with one of our employer partners. We'll also have executive briefings, and each introduced by a representative from Fujitsu to explain its applications in the workplace. We'll have a week at the University of South Wales engaged in cybersecurity activities, and this will be supplemented by further trips with the possibility of visiting Spain or Malta to look at cybersecurity further afield. You'll work in our newly built cyber hub and be mentored by colleagues from Admiral to develop your hacking skills, and you'll be able to practice them in competitions that we take part in. You'll leave us with professionally qualifications that you can take on to industry or onto university. So are there any questions for myself at this stage?
There are some questions for yourself, Mike. The first one is, could I gain employment in other areas such as programming if I take this course?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the units you'll study, particularly in your first year, have strong emphasis on programming.
Okay, thank you. And then the next question is, what subject should I take in school to help prepare for this course?
Right, okay. We like our students to have a good ground in particularly in English and maths. That goes without saying. But it's not going to hurt to have some experience in IT as well. But we look for 5 GCSEs at grade C and above, and we like those GCSEs to include maths and English at grade C.
Okay, thank you very much. And this is a question, I think, more for Kath. How many days a week is this course? What are the timings?
Okay, it's currently scheduled to run over 4 days of the week with 1 day for placement, but that placement day wouldn't necessarily be every week of the year. So you would need to plan for sort of being around for 5 days. However, one of those days would only be a half day, and we can get a sample timetable out to you after the event.
Thank you very much. We have one more question. Are you basically teaching hacking?
Are we basically teaching hacking? In a good way, yes. I suppose it's certainly part of the course. To understand the threats, you have to know what the threats mean. So we're not teaching you to hack per se in a bad way. It's what we call ethical hacking. So the purpose of some of the modules on the course will introduce things like penetration testing, looking for vulnerabilities within networks, looking for vulnerabilities within websites, and that sort of thing. So there is an element of that to it, but it's not the be all and end all of what we're looking at.
Okay, thank you for that, Mike. The questions are coming in thick and fast at the moment. We have another one. What will the college offer me in terms of software and equipment to help on this course? And are there any required textbooks I need to buy? Okay,
you'll obviously have access to our cyber hub in the college, which will be equipped for all your needs within college in terms of the technology. In terms of textbooks to buy, our Learning Resource Centre has a reasonably good selection of textbooks that you can look at from there. And sorry, what was the rest of the question, Tasha?
And what can the college offer in terms of software and equipment?
Okay, in terms of software and equipment, you will get access to Office 365. You'll get access to those applications, and we will be looking at doing a lot of work around virtual machines and those sort of things.
Okay, thank you very much. We have one more question, and it's about whether or not the course will be available next year. So this is from Dylan, and I assume that this means not this academic year, possibly the year after.
This course is looking to start in September.
Thank you very much. No more questions.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to hand back to Kath.
Thanks for that, Mike. And just to clarify for Dylan there, we are hoping that this curriculum area will really take off, Dylan, and grow. So we would expect to see it for September 2021. So just to finish off the evening, I'd like to thank all of our employers for their time this evening. It is absolutely wonderful that you've made the time to come and represent yourselves and Coleg Gwent here this evening. We're really grateful for the insights you've provided, and we are really, really grateful for the work that you continue to do with us all here at Coleg Gwent. So what is the next steps for our attendees? If you've not yet applied, you will shortly see a link that will take you directly to our college website and the application stage. We'd like to thank you all for attending, and if you have any other questions about the course, the college support services, application or enrolment, we will remain online for another 10 minutes to answer any of your questions. So thank you and good evening.